it's Leanne and I am back today with part 2 of my book haul. And contrary to my absolutely fabulous mug, I do give a flying fox about these books. In case you missed part 1 of my haul, I will link it up here, but it was all of my thrillers, true crime and some horror books. This part is going to be basically everything else. There's some poetry, there's some middle grade, there's some non-fiction, there's some urban fantasy, there's everything. There is everything. Off we go. The first thing that I have got here is something which is extra special. The absolutely wonderful Sean from the Book Maniac sent me an early Christmas card and a little Christmas parcel, and I opened it earlier this week and I had a good cry because people are lovely. So inside we have this little Merry Christmas card from Sean, and this is the most adorable thing I have ever seen. It is a bookcase that pops out. So I haven't attempted to pop it out yet, but here we go. That is actually the cutest thing I have ever seen. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? This is gonna live on my bookshelves right now. So along with that stunningly cute card, Sean also sent a chapbook along. This is a chapbook of translated Japanese fiction because Sean, in case you didn't know, lives in Japan, which is just freaking awesome. So this is Friendship for Grown-Ups and it is translated by Polly Barton and it is by Naokola Yamazaki, and it is absolutely stunning. So there are 3 little short stories in here all about how we balance our lives with our friendship. Our modern lives include a lot of things, a lot of technology and a lot of time-sucky things, and this is how we find connection through that. So I'm really excited to give it a try. Thank you so much, Sean. It was super sweet of you. The next book that I have got is one that I have had on 2 TBRs now because it was meant to come out in October and then it didn't come out in October and then it got pushed to November and it came out in November, but now I'm listening to another audiobook and I can't start it yet. And that is Lies Sleeping, which is the 7th full-length novel in the Rivers of London / Peter Grant series by Ben Aronovich. I am very much approving of the nice covers that they're giving these books. They've always had the map, but now they've just gone with the white and red theme. I won't be buying new editions because my old editions are sound. But the end papers are just knocking it out of the park. I can't tell you very much about this one because, as I say, it is the 7th in the series. However, if you fancy an urban fantasy series which is very British, very diverse, which is a little bit like Harry Potter and Hermione went to the police academy and then got a really cool job, then this one is for you. Speaking of urban fantasy, I decided to pick up the first book in a series that's been tempting me for a really long time, and what cinched it was an Irish wolfhound. Let me explain. This is Hounded by Kevin Hearn, which is the first book in what I think is the Druid Chronicles. So this is about Atticus O'Sullivan, and he is a centuries-old druid. He's currently living a very peaceful life in Arizona, running an occult bookshop and living with his Irish wolfhound, who he can have actual conversations with. The magic in this one is very sort of earth-based. He draws his powers from the earth, but he does have a magical sword. And in this one, a centuries-old enemy decides that he's finally going to get the sword for himself. Now, that would not normally be my kind of urban fantasy series because I'm not usually massively in love with gods or characters that have been alive for like millennia and stuff like that. However, Kevin Hearn recently posted on Twitter, and somehow it ended up in my feed as things do on Twitter, that at all of his events he gets more fan art of the Irish wolfhound than he gets of any other character in this entire book, and he is delighted with it all. And so there was just all of these pictures of these artist recreations of this Irish wolfhound, and I was in. I'm a doggy mum and I was in. It's been a while since I hauled anything that was poetry based on my channel, but I could not resist this one when PanMac offered to send it my way. And it is The Luckiest Guy Alive by John Cooper Clarke. If you don't know who John Cooper Clarke is, let me enlighten you. He is a performance poet and he is pretty much the shiz. He is widely regarded to be the godfather or grandfather now, don't think he would like that, of performance poetry, and his stuff is really sort of risky and on the edge with a really nostalgic undertone. There is a lot of social commentary of the working classes in here, which there needs to be more of in poetry. And if you're starting out in poetry, his poems are so accessible and so relatable, and you don't have to have studied English literature at university to find your way into his poetry. And now I have a couple of early teases for next year. I usually don't talk a lot about books that are coming out months and months and months in advance, because I don't really like to get you guys super hyped up about something that you can't get your hands on in at least a month. But these two are very exciting exceptions for me, so I'm gonna talk about them, and you can hate me for it whilst also wanting to buy the books. Put them on your pre-order shelf on Goodreads, go to your favourite book retailer and click the pre-order button. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So the first one that I've got is also from PanMac, and it is War Doctor by David Knott, and I might have cried just reading the synopsis for this one. So David Knott is a vascular surgeon, I believe, for the NHS, and he has been for his entire career. But also for his entire career, he has been taking unpaid leave and going to war-torn countries, to extremely impoverished environs, some of which are still being bombed while he's doing surgery, in order to gift his talents to people who don't have access to medical care and desperately, desperately need it. I think this one is going to reach through my nose and pull all of my guts out. The other one is the lead fiction title that's coming out from Quercus in the first quarter of next year. It doesn't come out until April, so it is quite a far away tease. But I'm so excited about it. This is The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. Obviously this is the proof cover, and this one is sort of billed as a love story for modern times. It's kind of like Bridget Jones meets Lionel Shriver meets like non-festive Love Actually meets some really, really, really sarcastic comedian, and I am totally there for it. So this is about Tiffy Moore, who has been searching for a flat for a very long time, but she cannot afford any of the flats in London that she has viewed. And it's also about Leon Tomey, and he needs cash really quickly, and he has a flat, and Leon works night shift and Tiffany does not. And so what they end up doing is literally sharing the same bed at separate times. Leon sleeps in it during the day, Tiffany sleeps in it at night, and the two never meet. They leave notes for each other, they leave things in the flat for each other, but they never meet. They share the same space and never see each other in person, and I think that is such a current commentary on the modern way that we live. And the first 10 pages, which I read as soon as I broke open the package, I want to read it now, but I'm going to try and wait until a little bit closer to when it comes out. But guys, this just... Oh. So the next book is a recommendation from the wonderful Kirsty, who is my podcast host at our podcast, Death by the Books. Go check us out. The reason that I'm breaking my no plug rule is because she recommended this book in our Halloween episodes. So we did 2 bumper Halloween episodes, and they were both just chock full of recommendations. One of them was Death by House, which had like haunted houses and ghosts and stuff, and the next one was Death by Monster, which had like Frankenstein and Dracula and werewolves and vampires and witches and stuff like that in it. And this one kind of had a foot in both of those. This is Razorhurst by Justine Larbalestier, and this is set in Sydney during the 30s in the Cutthroat Razor district. So, true fact, apparently guns and other, things were banned in Sydney in the 30s. And in order to get around this and still carry deadly weapons, the mob started to carry cutthroat razors. And so there was an entire district where everybody was just walking about with cutthroat razors in their pockets. My kind of place. Just joking, I would like die in the first 5 minutes because I cannot keep my mouth shut. Let's move on. Self-control is not my strong suit. So this is about Kelpie, who is orphaned, and Kelpie hears ghosts. And you know how I feel about ghosts in fiction. It's my thing, I love it. But then Kelpie meets Dimphna? And she is a mob mole whose lover has recently died, and she can also see ghosts, and secrets are starting to leak out from these ghosts about mob goings on, and both of them find themselves in quite a lot of danger. Doesn't it sound like something I love? The next book I am just going to talk about briefly because I haven't read the first book yet, which I am reading this month. It's on my November TBR, and that is Wondersmith, which is the second Nevermore book by Jessica Townsend. Let's put our teeth back in. Jessica Townsend. It is the second book about Morgan Crow, who is a girl who is cursed. She's cursed to die on, I think it's her 11th birthday. Her town blame her entirely for all of the horrible things that have ever happened, and they are quite happy to celebrate her dying. They're going to throw a party for her funeral, and at the last minute she's whisked away by a man called Jupiter North, and she's told that she can join a secret society, but she has to do some trials first. I'm very excited for it. It feels very sort of November, Christmassy, definitely the right time to read it, and this is the follow-up to it. Speaking of middle grade series, I need a fork left for this. Oh my god. This is the new Harry Potter page to screen book. Oh, it's really heavy. I'm not even joking. It's this size. It's bigger than my head. It's a hardback, and it has quite a few doubled over fold out pages. I'm not going to open it right now because I'm saving it for myself in December for when I have a cozy candlelit night where I can just lie down with this book and have a flip through it and start reading it. So I don't know if you guys remember, but several years ago the first Harry Potter page to screen book came out, which was also a massive tome like this one. But it only went up to, I think, the Order of the Phoenix. And this one takes us to the casting before the Harry Potter films were made. It also takes us through the last two films and sort of what's come after that. There's a lot of never seen before photos that the cast took during the production in here. There's obviously like tributes to Alan Rickman and things like that, and I'm very excited. It was very expensive. I'm not gonna lie. When the pre-order came out in my account, I kind of cried, but it's worth it. Also, talking about heavy and yet beautiful non-fiction books. I'm doing a lot of reaching in this video. I do apologise. I should have prepared better. This is Dynasties. So there is a BBC programme on right now which looks at all of the dynasties of the major animals in our world. So on the back here it kind of gives you the idea. It says the greatest of their kind. So the lone defender, the exiled ruler, the courageous protector, and then we've got the rebel and the survivor. This one's been put together by Stephen Moss. It has a foreword by David Attenborough. Of course it does, because it's a nature book. But I cannot tell you how beautiful this book is. I mean, so the thing that I love about the BBC coffee table books is that they're not just coffee table books. When they bring out companions to series, they almost always bring them out with information that's sort of summarised in what you get in the episodes. So if you aren't buying the DVDs, although I do tend to buy the DVDs as well because I love shows like this, but if you aren't planning on buying the DVDs, they do give you a lot of the same information so that you can, you know, keep it in a digestible format. So I don't just use these as coffee table books, I also read them, and I also use them for art inspiration. So quite a few of my like studies from life I do from books like this. I also recommend the Blue Planet books. If you love these, you get the idea, right? I just can't. They're too beautiful. And my last book in this haul is a really cute one that's come out at the right time at Christmas for stocking stuffers, and it is from Box Tree, which is an imprint of Pan Mac, and it's literally called Should I Stay or Should I Go? And 87 other questions that popular songs have asked, which James Ball is going to try to answer. And I will walk 500 miles. So if you do walk 500 miles, where have you been? Where are the boys of the NYPD choir singing Galway Bay? How much would it take to cry a river? And who run the world? Who run the world? There are so many daft little facts in this that you would not otherwise know. I love books like this. I usually keep them around for Christmas Day because when we're all burst from eating all of the Christmas dinner and we just want to lie around before we play games, I pick up books like this and read out daft things to make everybody giggle, and it's something we can all do while we're just lying about with our big podge bellies filled with Christmas roast. I'm so excited for the Christmas roast. Oh, becrikey, there's no chance I'm picking all this up. Oh, let's try again. Oh no. This is so unstable, what I do for you guys. So this is everything from my part 2 book haul. I hope that you really enjoyed it as much as I did. If you have read any of these books, as always, please tell me about them in the comments, or if you plan on purchasing any of them, because I've said that you should, because I like to know that my book pushing is working. I will be back soon, hopefully, with my Christmas gift guide and also my where to start with Terry Pratchett and several other reviews of true crime and thrillers. I have to put this stack down, my wrists are dying, and I will speak to you soon. Bye! Oh my god. Oh. I have such poor ideas. Bye! It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Don't know the words. I'll make them up as I go along, cause it's a cheery festive song. Okay, just go to the end card. Just go.